So I might seem a little perturbed today because I was at school earlier, and well, I'll explain more as I go through the presentation. But they kind of treated me or this program like it was a last-ditch effort for the kids, and I don't like that stigma. Now I'll be honest with you, I went to college and I graduated, and I had a stigma against the trade before, but hopefully I can dispel that for you guys a little bit today. All right, so we are a trade school, we're not a university, we are not a college. We offer electrical apprenticeships, and there's many benefits to that opportunity. But as I go through here, I'll explain all that to you. So we are ETI, we are the trade school. This is where the kids are going to get their training, or even adults. If some of you parents want to join us, you're more than welcome to. All right, I'm serious. So I got to change that number because we definitely are over 650 apprentices by this time this year. For example, we brought in double the amount of apprentices this year already than we had brought in all last year. So work is hot in San Diego. We work at construction sites all across San Diego County. So from all the military bases, Camp Pendleton, Miramar, 32nd Street. We do amusement parks, so SeaWorld, Legoland, San Diego Zoo. We work at UCSD, SDSU. We have the Aztec Stadium. That's all our project. We are working at schools just like this. So, I did forgot to point out. So we got a smoke detector there. We installed that. We installed these projectors. Got the Wi-Fi access device there. Another smoke detector. Some computers over there. So we do all the receptacles that the computer are plugged into, plus the internet systems, because the internet is electrified. It's part of our scope of work. We got a thermostat over there. We install those and all these lights. This is just one classroom in one school, in one district, in one part of San Diego, in one county, in one state. So all that work is ours. So just one question to think about. Are we going to use more electricity or less electricity in the future?
More.
Okay then, so what does that mean? Guaranteed work. All right, so you guys can try to go to college and figure your life out and try to guess what's going to happen in the future, or I can tell you what's going to happen in the future. Electrical jobs. All right. Okay, so then we'll be going to school, or you will be going to school if you want to join. We are part of the union. That union is the IBEW. We've been around since 1891. We've been in San Diego since 1945. We've been around since before there was an electrical grid system in America in the first place. 2 years before, exactly. Or before they even started building it. So we've been around for a long time. We're not going anywhere. Right? The largest and oldest electrical union in the world. We have over 800,000 members. About 5,000 members locally, actually. So for context, Amazon has about 1 million workers. I think Jeff Bezos makes pretty good money. Now, we're not an individual corporation. We're located all through the United States, but we make good money too. And we have over 100 electrical, actually I should change that number as well, 300 electrical contractors here in the United States. Oh, sorry, here in San Diego actually. So you're not still working at any one company. If you're when you go through our apprenticeship, you're working with one contractor for about a year, then we rotate you to another contractor. Once you finish the program, you can work for wherever you want to. So if you like working for a certain employer and then things go sour or the relationship is not as good as you want it to be, you go work for somebody else and the money's still to be guaranteed for you. Right, so you're not stuck. And if you want to become a contractor, I highly encourage you. Start your own company. For young folks, you won't understand this until later, but pandemic happened. I remember the exact day it happened when California shut down. I was still an apprentice. Called my boss. Hey, are we working tomorrow? He's all like, yeah, we're working next 7 days straight. Work never shut down for us. So you might know some people that lost their jobs or employment became less stable. Our employment only increased. We have apprentices now that just started last month and they're already working 7 days a week. By choice, they're not forced to. They only got to work 5 days a week. But if they work on Saturdays, it's time and a half automatically. If they work on Sundays, it's double time automatically. If they work on holidays, it's double time automatically. So for example, when I was in my first year, I happened to work that Thanksgiving weekend. There was a 4-day holiday for some reason. So, well, it was 2 days before the weekend and then also the weekend. So double time in my first year on those 4 days. Easy money. So I already pointed some of this out. We work on cellular systems, healthcare devices, green energy, street and road lighting, telecom and data, fire alarm systems, energy systems. So anything electrified in the state of California is within our scope of work. Now, here's something you may not know. In California, you cannot work on electrical systems unless you have your license, which is the whole point of our apprenticeship program. You're going to get your license, or you're not going to get paid. You are a registered apprenticeship. We are registered with the state of California and with the DOL, Department of Labor, federally. So we're registered both in California and the country. Or you are what's considered an ET. That's a whole separate thing, but that's how all the legal companies, hire their workers. So we don't do that. All right, what is an apprenticeship? Paid on-the-job training. So from day one, you come to our apprenticeship, you're getting paid. You're working 40 hours a week. For you people in high school, how many hours do you spend in school per day right now?
Like 6.
6. Yeah, 6, 7, about regular. You only spend 7 hours a week at our school. So you're working 40 hours a week, then you're going to school 7 hours a week, you must go to class, you cannot skip class. If you miss class, you gotta make up that class. You don't make up the class, we're kicking you out of the program. So just understand that. So it's a 50-hour week about commitment. But you're getting paid for those 40 hours. Also, you're not paying for the school, but I'll get to that in a minute. You're working on a job site. So like I said, you might be at UCSD or the Aztec Stadium, or you might be at Legoland, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. You're not by yourself. You're working with a licensed journeyman. So someone that already went through the apprenticeship, and they have their state license, and they're going to guide you and teach you how to do things the professional way, the right way. We are the professionals. You're going to school twice a week at night. So like I said, 7-hour week commitment. Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday from 5 to 8:30 p.m. And then also, after you finish schooling, you can continue to take extra classes if you want to, which I highly encourage. This is for the parents. You get more college credits, okay, whatever. You get your AA once you finish the program. That's not bad. But I'm going to tell you the secret right now. You don't make more money with college degrees. I should know. I have a couple of them. You make more money with licenses and credentials. And the whole point of our program is for you to get your state license, number one, but also part of your curriculum built into the apprenticeship is to get extra credentials, because if you can have that, if you hold that credential and the next person doesn't, you get that job automatically. So for example, these are old lights, I can just tell. Starting last year, and this is going national now, it was California first, but now it's national, there's a bill called, or it's a spec called Title 24, Cal CTP. So these lights are highly inefficient. That's why they want to get rid of them. We want more high efficient lights, and also we want them networked so you can control them from your phone or from the computer. Well, you can't work in that lighting system unless you have that credential. That's part of our curriculum. Also, you must have your state license in the first place to hold that credential. So that's an example of getting the credentials gets you those jobs. So, and then, once again, for young people, you don't understand this yet, but merit-based achievement is very, how can I say, fulfilling to have. Electricity is binary. It either works or it doesn't. So if you're working on a system, you flip the switch, the light comes on, your boss sees that, he's gonna like that. He's gonna like it a lot. You're making the money. However, if you're working on that system, you flip the switch and the light does not come on, you messed up. He doesn't like that. So he's gonna reward a person that he knows can make the system work every time. And then that means more money for you, promotions, and other accolades. All right, we have 2 apprenticeships. Sound and telecom, inside wire. So think of the sound and telecom as low voltage systems. It's not just sound systems. We do sound, we do audio visual, like I said, projectors and speakers. But mostly we do internet cabling, we do fire alarm systems. Once again, in the state of California, every building must have a fire alarm system. Not a sprinkler system, a fire notification system. It's required, so guaranteed work. Electrical security systems, cellular disinstallations, and HVAC control. So we don't install these vents here, that's for sheet metal workers. They do all the duct work, but we install the controls that control the AC systems. We integrate our systems with fire sprinkler systems if they're in the building. We integrate our systems with anything that's in the building. All right, so inside wiring, those are your traditional electricians, power distribution. So getting building from the transformer into the building, distributed throughout the building, and then they do lights, receptacles, switches, manufacturing process controls, green energies, like I said, conduit installations. They will get any pipe and installing that pipe, and that's an art in itself. But those are the main differences in terms of the scope of work. Sound program's 4 years. Anti-wiring program's 5 years. They're both tuition free. You do not pay for the education. So I was pointing out to the young lady back here. You guys might be thinking, okay, I could go to college. And, well, first of all, did you guys talk to your parents about who's going to pay for college? You might want to have that discussion. You're thinking them, they're thinking you. All right? And our program doesn't matter. You're going to get free scholarship no matter what. Everybody's not paying for their education. You're also going to get health insurance, independent of your parents. That includes medical, dental, vision, and I should put on there mental health care if you need it. That's all free. As long as you're working, which we require you to work 40 hours a week, then your health insurance is covered. You're not paying for it. So when I get to the money, and I'm going to get to the money soon here, that's all take home. On top of that, you get a pension. Here's the pension. Pension. No one in this room, except for the adults, can explain to me what a pension is. Less than 10% of jobs in America offer a pension in the first place. I'll tell you the secret. The reason why I got into this program, I was working abroad in Korea, and it's kind of weird, but because I was working for the government body basically, I got automatically entered into their I guess you could say union. I had a nice pension, I had health care, they were paying for part of my rent, I was getting good pay, and then I left after about 4 years. And when I left, they were like, hey, take your pension with you. Now look, I'm not a Korean citizen, obviously, right? But I still had a pension built up. I was like, ooh, extra $6,000? Cool, no problem. So when I came back to America, I was looking at myself, I was like, I need to find a job with a pension. That's how I found these guys. So most people, they want to become an electrician or they heard about it from their dad or something like that. Me, I was like, where's the pension at? I gotta find it, okay? And we got a nice one. We actually have 2 pensions, but I won't go there. Most of our pensioners make more money retired than they did in the field. And then when you see what we make in the field, you can be like, oh, okay, that's not bad. Guaranteed wages and wage increases annually or biannually. I want you kids to understand you're never going to see this offer again the rest of your life, I guarantee. All right. Okay. Let's get to the money. Let's focus on this left chart here. That's the 4-year program. Now, we started at $22.88. I say we because I went to the sound program, the 4-year program. A period is 6 months. So every 6 months, every year, so 2 periods, every year, guaranteed wage increase of $3 to $4. Parents, is that common? Okay, all right. You don't gotta argue for it, you gotta fight for it. Oh, I got packets for you guys, so you don't have to worry about taking pictures. Yeah. As long as you're going to work, as long as you're going to school, you must go to work, you must go to school, 40 hours a week, 7 hours a week at night. Then you can wage increase automatically. Okay. Remember, this is all take home. We get paid weekly, by the way. Okay. That's not bad. So $35.20 is what your journeyman rate is. So you get your license at the end of the program. You're guaranteed your minimum wage. Let's try this. Kids. What's the minimum wage in California?
15.
What's the federal minimum wage? $7.25. All right. This is your minimum wage. All right.
It is going up for fast food, though. The minimum wage.
I'll get to you in a minute.
I'm just saying.
We'll see if that happens. We'll see.
Yeah.
Is that a cap? Like at the.
Good catch, Mom. We'll get there. Okay. 5-year program. You do start lower, right? But every 6 months, remember period 6 months, every 6 months, guaranteed wage increase of $2.
That's annually, you said?
That's every 6 months.
Oh, 6 months, sorry.
$2 increase. Go to work, go to school. That's what you gotta do. Okay. You're a 5-year apprentice, 5th-year apprentice. You're already making $40 an hour guaranteed. Get your license. You're making $49.70. That's your minimum wage. When you guys talk to other programs, I'm going to keep going on here, but we talk to other programs, other schools. What you young people should be asking is, what's my starting pay? What's my finished pay? Is there a pension? Is there health care? That should be the first 4 questions out of your mouth. And they should be able to answer those. Or they're going to be like, oh, well, just come and we'll tell you about it. We'll have a sit down, chit chat. I'm telling you right now, I got nothing to hide. Okay. Oh, I made a mistake here. Look at that. That was up until May 31st. And that expired, and that was June 5th. Oh, there we go. All right, so starting this past August, wages went up $25. That's starting in the 4-year program. For reference, when I started 4 years ago, because I went to the sound program, that was $17 starting. Can we see the pattern here? Wage increase $3 to $4 every year, guaranteed, and that is our current wage, $38.78, and it's going to go up next year because we're in negotiations right now. The inside, they start a little bit higher, $20.48, wage increase every 6 months. They're at $51.20. That's already guaranteed to go up $2 next year. It's already been negotiated. By the time you guys get in and out of the program, it's going to be $6, I guarantee. Free healthcare and a pension. All right, let me put it this way. In our 4-year program, you come in, you work those 40 hours, you get your 4 years in, you're going to make, before you become a journeyman, over $200,000. You're going to make before journeyman wage. I got a friend who went to law school, Northwestern. He paid that much for 3 years of education. All right. 5-year program. You're going to make, in 5 years, over $300K. That does not include your health care. That does not include your pension. This is all take home. Let me put it this way. Let's say you get in when you're 18. We'll talk about the process we get in, but let's say you get in when you're 18 or 19. That's fine. At 23, 24, you're making over 100K guaranteed.
A year.
A year. And that's all take home. So while your friends are just now graduating from college, you're making more money than they'll probably making the rest of their lives. Okay, couple of things here. I'm gonna keep it real. What's your GPA?
4.9.
You're not bad. GPA?
3.9.
GPA?
1.6.
Okay, we gotta work with you. GPA?
3.7.
Okay, actually, you guys, these are the highest GPAs I heard today. I don't know why I have so many GPAs today. Good. You guys aren't bad. Here's the problem. Your competition is not just other 18-year-olds, other 19-year-olds. Your competition is me. I got it when I was 32. My GPA was 4.5. All AP honor student. And I passed my AP classes. And I lived abroad for 10 years. And I had sound technical experience. So if you're in the interviews, and I'm in the interviews, who are they going to select?
You.
All right then. Glad you recognize that. Because they did select me. And I was apprentice of the year, and I had perfect attendance, and I became a foreman right after I got. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So the point is, what can you do as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old? We do bring 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds to 20-year-olds, that's fine. But what can you do to make yourself a more viable candidate? We got a pre-apprenticeship program and a electrical trainee program. That's entry-level work. Sorry. No experience necessary for the pre-apprenticeship or for the electrical trainee. The pre-apprenticeship is 4 weeks of hands-on training. It is free. Doesn't cost you anything. Now it's going to be 8 hours a day, so the cost is your commitment, your time. But you do that pre-apprenticeship program, we make you job site ready. So when you go on a job site, you're not just like me on my first day watching forklifts skid around and being all scared and getting hit in the head holes. You don't want that to happen, okay? One benefit of the pre-apprenticeship program, you're going to bypass the aptitude test. Now I'll talk about what the test is and how that works, but some people are test anxious. You guys have pretty good GPA, so maybe you'll be all right. Work on you. But if you want to bypass that test, just complete a pre-apprenticeship program, sorry. And you gain field experience. You can roll that over into picking up some work. And we'll go over the schedule of the application, which is a really short process. But while you're going through that 3 or 4 month process, you get some work. Work on the same job sites as other apprentices, other journeymen, other foremen, with the same contractors. You're working 40 hours a week, you still get health insurance. Free classroom training, and you gain field experience. So then when you go into the interview, which is the last step of our application process, you can actually talk about relevant experience that you have. And they'll see, oh, this guy went to the pre-apprenticeship program, or you've been working with Down Electric for the past 3 or 4 months. Tell us about that experience. Tell them about the hand tools that you use. Tell them about the job sites that you work at. Tell them about all the devices that you terminated. This is only going to make you a more viable candidate. Because if you think you're going to come in at 18 years old and wow them, you have nothing to talk about. You have nothing to speak on. Right? And they're not going to be so sure if they want you or not. Because here's the problem. You're 18. You're going to be waking up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I guarantee you, because we start work at 6. And you got to be at work at 5:45. So while you're going to bed at 10 o'clock, 9:30, your friends are going to be out partying. That's the only reason why they're going to college. Don't even tell me anything different, okay? So you're going to have that FOMO. You're going to miss out on all those fun opportunities, but you're going to be making some good money. But you got to show us the dedication. Because if you get into this program, I'm going to say a curse word here, but if you get into this program and you quit in your first week, or on your first day, on your first month, I'm coming to your house, I'm kicking your ass. I'm totally serious. Has that happened this year? Yes. Multiple times. What I thought it was. Well, do the pre-apprenticeship, maybe you don't like it. Fine. Then go for another opportunity. You're more than welcome to. Or become an electrical trainee and get some entry-level experience. You do it for 3 months, 4 months, you're like, you know what, I don't like these imported potties. Okay, that's fine. Go do something else. But at least you tried. But at least you didn't take somebody else's spot or waste our time or your time applying to the apprenticeship and deciding a year in, 2 years in that this isn't for you. And I'll tell you why you should complete the apprenticeship no matter what you do in the first place, but we'll get there. Alright, so like I said, 160 hours of hands-on training, we get you some certifications. I say it's unpaid, there was a small stipend, but it's not much to write home about, alright? Just think that it's unpaid, but you do get some money at the end. And then the electrical training, 40-hour work weeks, tuition for education, you still get health care, guaranteed wages. And like I said, I have packets for you guys. Main difference between apprenticeship and ET, healthcare. When you are in the apprenticeship, and then once you get your license and you're still a member of our union, the healthcare covers you and your family. I didn't mention that earlier. So if you got 4 kids, 5 kids, they're all covered by your healthcare. At the same rate that I'm paying. I have no kids. I wish I could put my dog in there, but I can't. But ET, the healthcare only covers yourself until you get to the apprenticeship. All right, gotta be 18. And this isn't like applying to college, so listen carefully here. You gotta be 18 years old, so you gotta finish college, get your high school transcripts, and you gotta be able to drive. You drive? You drive?
Yeah.
You drive? You drive? How old are you?
16.
How old are you?
14.
Okay, you have an excuse. You? Yeah.
I'm working on it.
All right. I have my license at 15 and a half. I don't know what's wrong with you kids nowadays. You got
It's true.
It's
It's changed. It's really changed.
Yeah, that's fine. And then we want to see what year of algebra completion. So if you took 9th grade algebra, that should cover you. Right? Okay. All right, that's the minimum requirements to apply to our program. And let's say you didn't pass your algebra class, we have ways that you can still get that credential or still meet that stipulation. So we don't try to block out anybody. This isn't really for this room, but formerly incarcerated is okay. I'm not saying go out there and commit a murder, but if you happen to, and you get out, you can still apply to our program. Okay, so we don't do background checks, so just don't tell anybody, you'll be all right. So to apply to our program, all we need to see are 3 documents: our high school transcripts, a valid driver's license, and a social security card. You should have one of those 3 and 2 soon, okay? If not all 3. It does say there DD-214 for veterans. I'm not telling you to go out there and fight a war and then come back and join a program. If you want to, then that's fine. They get extra benefits, I guess, but don't worry about that so much. But just high school completion, driver's license, and social security card, just to make sure you're valid to work in America. That's all you need to apply. There's no long application. There's no essays you have to write. There's no application fee. You don't have to wait 9 months because we'll overschedule them in here. But it's a pretty simple process. Just bring those 3 documents. And you'll be surprised, that's very hard for a lot of people for some reason. I don't know why. That's the first step. Second step, aptitude test. I covered that earlier. So like I said, if you do the pre-apprenticeship program, you can bypass this step. But it's not that hard in the first place. All it covers is 9th grade level algebra, algebra 1. It's not the SATs, it's not the ACT. It is literally just PEMDAS. Y'all know what PEMDAS is, right? Okay, that's all it is. We're not trying to trick anybody. For example, if you were to prepare for the exam, which you totally should, let's say you go on Google, you type in practice algebra problems, you're going to get 1,000 websites. You do 10 a day. If you score 6 out of 10 correctly, you're fine. You can pass that exam. We don't set the bar that high. It's pretty fair. And it's a pass-fail exam in the first place. So if we have 50 applicants and all 50 pass the test, all 50 we get to go to the third and final step, which is the interview. That's pretty fair. It's not even just the top scorers. The people that score high, the people that score low, but they meet the minimum requirements, they get to go to the interview anyways. Pretty nice process there. Oh, there's reading comprehension. So let's do a little test here. If you're on a job site, well, we're at a school. If you're at a school and you see a sign that says explosives, are you going to walk towards that sign? Okay, we got some right answers. No. Yes, okay, good. So we can pass the reading comprehension test, right? There's a reason for that. That's basically what the test is. I'm serious. Pass your test. Move on to the last step, the panel interview. And this is where you got to actually show something. So the way I describe it to people is you got to big up yourself. You got to show these people that you know what you're talking about. You got to flex on them. I know how to use these tools. I've worked at these job sites. I've worked with these people. Here's a letter of recommendation. If you don't have any of that to present, they're not going to really see any value in you. We want to make sure you can work 40-hour weeks. We want to make sure that you do labor. We want to make sure that you're comfortable working on these job sites. We're in PPE. We wear PPE all the time. You can imagine during the pandemic, if it's still going on, I don't know. But we had masks on, but in addition to that, we're always wearing hard hats, we're always wearing safety gloves, safety glasses, high-vis vests, composite or steel-toe boots. Those are part of the job. That's part of the job. You're gonna be sweating, you're gonna be pulling cable, digging trenches, working underground. I've worked under schools like this, and there's a spider right next to my head, but I gotta pull this cable. All right? If they can see that value in you, if you can show them the value in yourself, which would be if they take up an entry-level job or do the pre-apprenticeship, then yeah, you have a really good chance of getting into the apprenticeship program. You're gonna get a score. Everybody that goes to the interview gets a score. The score's gonna be out of 100. So here's the next question. Would you want to fly on a plane that the pilot got his license with a 75% pass rate?
Nah.
No. So what number would you accept as a minimum?
Like 85. Like 85, 90.
Okay, you must be flying Spirit. Okay, yeah, the 90's good. Okay, 90's not bad. So you can imagine what a good score is, right, out of 100. I had a guy call me up earlier this week, and he's all like, well, I got an 80 on my interview score. I'm like, brother, you're not getting into this program. All right, you need to do something else. Which is weird because he had experience, so that means he didn't really tell them about his experience, and that's why he got a low score. All right, so those are 3 steps. So it looks like this. Let's go with the next deadline. So that's going to be in December here, December 14th. None of you guys qualified now, but let's say you did. You're out of school, you have your transcript, you have your license, you have your social security card. All right, great. If you get your documents into us before December 14th, you're in that applicant group. You'll take your test in the first week of January. Don't worry about this. We're not doing tests around it. It doesn't make any sense. But in the first week of January, you'll take your test. And you'll see me there because I'm the test administrator. You'll see me at the interviews because I'm the interview check-in person. You'll see me at orientation because I'm the orientation person. So get used to my face. Let's say you apply to the Inside program. All right, you're going to do your interviews in January. You apply to the Sound program, you do your interviews in March. If everything goes well, it's going to be real quick here. This is what I'm saying. December, January, you're going to be working with us by the end of February. And you got to start working with us within a month. So we don't play around. Same thing with March. Have a successful interview. By the end of April, at the very least, you're going to be working with us. And that's just one application cohort. So as you can see here, we had January, March, May, July, September, December. So you're not in any rush. Don't feel compelled to apply to the next application deadline if you're not ready. Maybe you want to gain some experience. Maybe you want to do a pre-apprenticeship first. As you can see, we have 6, we have 5 next year, but 6 this year, application opportunities for you. So when you're ready, maybe you don't quite have your license yet, but you're 18, get your license and then wait for the next one. And while you're waiting, pick up a job. But there's plenty of opportunities out there for you to apply when you're ready. I'll give you a comparison. There's like the elevator guys, and I'll be honest, they make more money than we do. But they only open up their applications like once every 2 years. So if you miss a deadline, you gotta wait. And really, they're more like a mafia, so you gotta know somebody getting there. But we're pretty fair in our selection process. So you guys probably won't finish school until May or June. So whenever that is, you can look at that July date, right? Or in the summer after you do some work.
Technically, the semester starts May 2023. You don't graduate until June.
Over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I said, to wait for the next deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to start.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, we're running a lot of apprentices this year. Like I said, we're doing obviously when we're interview process at the beginning of the year. But the apprentices that we brought in just recently, they're not starting school until next June. But they're already working, so they're already making money. They're just waiting for the class to start because we're just so impacted with students. I did forget to mention something earlier, so let me go back here right quick and answer your question. There we go. Boom. Well, yeah, that's fine. So 3878, that's already well above what most Americans make in the first place, right? But then people see the 5120, and which program do you think most people want to apply to? All right, that's fine. We're all red-blooded Americans here. I get it. Now I told you I went to the sound program. I actually got into both programs. They don't allow you to do this anymore, but when I applied 5 years ago and got in, I applied to both programs. You got to pick one now, so make sure you make the right decision. But I got into both programs and I chose the sound program. You're thinking, well, Mark, this is not very intelligent for a 4.5 GPA student. You chose the lower wage. Well, that's our minimum wage. And I came to realize, if I'm about my business, if I'm highly motivated, which I was, I haven't taken a semester off in years. I showed my employer that I'm a good worker. I graduated last year, I make more than these guys. Remember, I said that was the minimum. There's no maximum. So if the employer sees the value in you, and they offered it to me, then they'll pay you more over scale. So understand. You want to apply to the inside wiring program, you really want to be an electrician? All right, good for you, good decision, not bad. Understand what you're going to be doing, digging those trenches, working in the rain, putting up that rigid conduit, but understand that most people are applying to this program for the same reason you want to apply to the program. So that means there's more competition, stiffer competition. However, less people are applying to this program, they're overlooking this program altogether. They don't even know what it is. Less competition. Probably easier, I'm going to keep real, easier to get into because we need people in that program as well. We need people to do that, that are technical like that. And understand that that's not your maximum wage, that is your minimum wage. So both programs have the same earning potential. That's what I want to get across here. I'm not the only one, I'm not special. I work with 3 colleagues in the office that within the sound program, they make as much as I do, if not more. And there's 3 more up at the hall. And there's people out in the field doing the same thing. So I just want to get that across to you guys. All right, we're almost there. I gotta read this part. Okay, like I said, you cannot work in the state of California unless you are licensed, you're a registered apprentice, or you have your ET card. To qualify for your license, well, let me just say it like this. There are some other electrical trade schools in California, in San Diego, that offer programs that are paid for you, not tuition free, so you gotta pay them about 10, 20 grand. And they say they can make you an electrician in 10 months. Does that make any sense to you guys to become an electrician in 10 months? No, it's impossible. Guarantee it. That's why our program's 4 years, that's why it's 5 years. To qualify for your license, you must have a certain amount of on-the-job training hours. I won't get too deep into it, but basically 8,000 hours. That takes about 4 to 5 years to get. It's about 1,800 hours a year. So you must have that stipulation. You must prove your hours to the state of California. So you must work legally. You must also have 720 hours of classroom instruction. That's why you must go to class. That's how you get your 720 hours. And if you go through the 5-year program, you're gonna get over 1,000 hours. So once you meet those two stipulations, then you can qualify to take your state exam. Doesn't mean you passed it, but you qualify for the exam, then you gotta pass that and earn that. We just cannot give you your license just because you went through our program. You have to pass that exam. So this is off California's website. I didn't make this chart, they made this chart. So just for the general electrician's license, only 1 or 2 people pass it on the first time. Uh-oh. So we're gonna bring you to a program, you're gonna spend 5 years training, getting your curriculum done, and you only have a 1 or 2 chance of passing that exam? No, because our pass rate's over 90%. So this is the state average, and our pass rate's over 94% really. Now this is with the IBW, we have locals all across California, so actually we inflate these numbers. So if we weren't involved, that number would be closer to 30%. That was 2019, this is 2020, 40% pass rate. It just went down. Once again, we maintain over 94%. Now notice I didn't say 100%. So not everybody that goes through our program, well, a minute amount, do not pass that exam. We just had a meeting last night, we kicked about 5 people out of the program because they didn't pass their test. Now they're gonna get another chance, we're not that cold-blooded, but they had a year, well they had 5 years, 4 years of training, 1 year of, what can you say, 1 year of time to pass that exam, and they have multiple opportunities to pass the exam too, not just one time, you can take it up to basically 5, 6 times. But they weren't taking the whole program seriously. And then when they realized that they weren't gonna make $50 an hour, that's when they wanna get quote unquote serious. We have a whole semester of test prep for you guys. We're gonna get you ready for that exam. We want you to pass it. But you have to take the opportunity seriously and you have to earn your license. We just can't give it to you. Alright. So like I said, certification earn you money, not just diploma. So once again, the main certification you're gonna get, the expectation is your California state license. We're gonna get you safety trained because you will not realize how dangerous a job site is until you're about 2 or 3 years in and you see somebody break their arm or fall through the ceiling. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you. I'm just saying these are people that are not safety conscious. We wanna make you safety aware. We get you internet trained, so you can be pulling internet cabling and splicing it. We can get you with the drafting software, so that's building blueprints. And understand, if you're building blueprints, you're working in an office, and you're making as much or more than guys working in the field. That's a nice skill to have. That's part of our curriculum. We'll get you green energy trained. We'll get you leadership trained, because we're going to train you to become an electrician, a trades worker, but then you're running a crew, you're a foreman or general foreman or superintendent. What do you know about leadership? Well, we have a whole semester to get you trained up for that, so you can run a whole team. And the rest of these are just specialty licenses that are part of our program. So like instrumentation, that is electrical calibration and measurements. That's the Cal CTP I was telling you about, the lighting control system. ECM tech, that's the microbit and battery backup storage. So with all this green energy, we're generating the energy and then we're just kind of just wasting it. Well, we want to put it in battery so we can use it for later, stored, right? And EVITP, I should change the acronym because they changed it. It's EVICS, charging stations. So California is going green in 2035, I guess, you know, so we need all these non-gas powered vehicles, we need charging stations for them. That's going to take a while to build up that network. Guaranteed work right there. And once again, if you have these, you must have your state license to hold these credentials. And if you have these credentials and the next person doesn't, which is the non-union shops, we don't talk about them, then we get the jobs automatically. You're going to start here as an apprentice, you're going to become a journeyman, you get your license, then you can do whatever you want after that. You're not stuck just being a trades worker. Now, if you want to bend pipe, pull wire for the rest of your life, your next 30 years, you got a guaranteed pension coming, no problem. You're still going to get paid awesome for that. But if you're ambitious, you're motivated, many opportunities here. Starting with a foreman. superintendent, project manager. You're working your way up to contractor. Right? Once you get to become a project manager, you're managing multi-million-dollar projects. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm managing multi-million dollars of somebody else's money, I want it to be my money. Right? So you become the contractor. Get your contractor's license, and then you hire the apprentices, you pay them, you're telling Hawaii while they're over here working their butts off. Sounds pretty nice. Maybe you like the way the union works. You want to become an administrator. You can do that. No problem. Maybe you get really intrigued by a certain technology. I was on my way to becoming a fire life safety technician, basically. And it's a really good pathway. You can become an engineer. You learn that technology. Well, all you gotta do is get your credentials. You don't gotta go to school to become an engineer. You get the right credentials, boom, you're an engineer. They're gonna pay you like one. You're gonna have to get more money than engineers, but like I said, you become a draftsman, so you're just building blueprints or modifying them. If you want to, become an architect. All you gotta do is get your credentials. Maybe you're really good at teaching. I like teaching. They get paid the same as the guys in the field. And you're just training other apprentices or even other journeymen. If you're smart about your business, become an inspector. Here's what they do all day. Oh, fix that. Yeah, fix that over there. They make more than I do. Okay, so all I gotta do is get your credentials. Now, last thing I'll stay here, and then you can ask them questions. We're down here in San Diego. That's our jurisdiction. Don't worry about this eastern part. That's for later. But we're basically here in San Diego County. So as far north as Camp Pendleton, as far south as the border, as far west as the coast, and as far east really as Santee. Okay, that's your working geography area. And you'll be working everywhere. And you'll be with one contractor, you'll be at the same spot for about a year, or maybe with another contractor, you're going somewhere different every day. That's fine. I didn't grow up in San Diego. I'm not from here. I like it a lot, obviously. I live here. Maybe you guys are going to get sick of San Diego in the next 4 or 5 years. So first of all, if you don't want to do the apprenticeship here, do it somewhere else. These are all locals in California. You can apply somewhere else. That's fine. And do the apprenticeship there. They're not going to house you, so you got to figure that out. Right? But you don't have to do it here in San Diego necessarily. Now, if you do finish the program here in San Diego or anywhere else and you get your license, you can go travel anywhere you want to and work there. So you're not stuck here in San Diego by committing to our apprenticeship program. You have the freedom to travel. We have apprentices that travel the whole country all year round and work around the world. Out into the world in a second. So for example, you finish the apprenticeship program here and you go on and go work in the Bay Area where they're making $86 an hour right now. You could go do that. Okay, y'all didn't hear that, but that's fine. All right. You want to go to Vegas and work in Vegas, live in Vegas for a year? You're more than welcome to do that. Detroit, New York, Miami, Washington, D.C. Let's get to the international now. So we are the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. So Canada, South America, you go work there if you want to. Guam, Micronesia. I just found out we have a local in Ireland because we're transferring somebody from Ireland. So you go work there if you want to. Germany. Yeah, you're not stuck here. Pretty good opportunity. Pretty sure you haven't gotten that before. If you want to, come for a tour. We're not that far from here. We're just in Kearny Mesa. You've probably seen our building off the 15 when you drive south. I'll be happy to give you guys a tour. You and your parents, or you by yourself, it's up to you. And you can see our facilities. It's very nice. You can see all the labs and hands-on training you're going to get in the classroom. But I got nothing to hide. I've been upfront about the money, the benefits, the healthcare. Once again, those are questions you should be asking schools, other employers when you start. If they don't tell you, someone's kind of fishy about the situation. All right? So that's about it. I have all this information for you in my packets over there and on my card. So you don't have to write this down. If you want to, you're more than welcome to, but I got packets and cards for you guys. Any questions?
What do the union do?
Good question, Dad. $54 a month.
And that's basically what covers all the medical and
Yes, sir.
representation.
How much is that, Marcus? I didn't hear that.
$54 a month. So basically 1 hour work.
What's the typical age of an apprentice?
Just found that out last night, actually. I guess 32 is the average in our local. So I got in at 32, so I guess I made the cut. But we do bring in 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds. The main problem for them, and I want to warn young people about this, is just that you're making that money. Let's say you're dedicated to the program, great, and you ignore your friends and they're doing all that partying and stuff, but you ignore that. But when you're 24, 25, and you're making 6 figures, people kind of go crazy because they don't do the money. So you got to become financially literate. Now we do have financial literacy classes. Yeah, they're like one afternoon seminars or whatever, but you have to make sure that you keep your eye on the ball and that you don't get too distracted because you have all this money to spend, you don't know what to do with it. Right? So I do warn you guys about that.
What about when a project's complete and you're adjourning it? Do you get laid off or you get, if there's,
So you're working for the contractor. And so trust me, the contractor has multiple jobs going on. So you'd be lucky to actually finish a project. I never got to finish the project, honestly. Because they were like, hey, go over there now. Hey, go over there now. Now, if a project does finish, then if you're about your business, they're going to put you on another project immediately. So it's not we don't have that issue.
So you said like the young people are competing with people like you who are
Mhm.
older and more experienced. So then, like, do they have trouble finding the work, or is the work assigned to
So
them?
as an apprentice, I'm not just saying you need to work 40 hours. We're going to need you to work 40 hours. So you can qualify for your state exam. So we find them the jobs as an apprentice. And we dispatch them. Once they become a journey person, like I said, they could work with a certain contractor if they have a nice relationship, or if they want to work with somebody else, they could go pick up another job. And we list our jobs every day on the website that are open. And we haven't had a blank list for the past 2 years. There's always calls open, and there's always ones being added and being picked up.
Like, do you have a suggestion for a young person if they're not sure which trade they are interested in, like how to go about exploring that?
So our pre-apprenticeship program, even though we're an electrical school, the way it's structured is that we're supposed to show access to many different trades. So we do carpentry, we do drywalling, we do tile ceilings, tile installations, sorry. We do some masonry, cement floors. Not that much because, like I said, we are a trade school. Most of our training is focused on electrical, but we do expose them to other programs. There's other trades out there. Go work with them if you want to. Don't commit to the apprenticeship necessarily. And see if you like it. But I mean, electricians are pretty much top dog on the job site. So, except for the elevator guys. But then they lose their arms, so whatever.
so besides the pre-apprenticeship, is there anything else a young guy can do to try to stand out with limited experience on the job?
Like I said, pick up a.
Should get a non-union job to,
You know what? We won't hold that against them.
or just to get electrical experience?
Right. But like I said, we have entry level jobs as well. They want to be an apprentice or just entry level
They're
workers.
saying like they're going against a 32-year-old.
Right. But I'm saying pick up an entry level job. We still pay them. They still get the same experience as they would as an apprentice, or just not considered an apprentice yet. Yeah. But if it's easier for them to get a non-union job because they know somebody, or just make sure it's legal work. So that's why I was stressing that earlier.
How competitive is it to get the apprenticeship? Like what percentage of people?
So it's based on need. So like I was saying, we brought in double the amount of apprentices already this year that we brought in last year, and that's because there's so much work out there, and we're still hungry for more. It would be like we talked about the score out of 100 earlier. Normally, you wouldn't get in with lower than a 90, and if you got a 90, it's pretty much guaranteed to get in. But this year, we've gone as far down as 85, just because we needed to pull those people. And we were calling people, and they'd be like, "No, I'm good. You were just here last week," and it's like, "No, I don't want to do this." Well, glad you found out before you started, but yeah, so it would be based on need whenever that interview was. So we would call our contractors, we would ask them, hey, what's work looking like for the next 6 months to a year, because we need to keep everybody working 40 hours a week. If they're saying that work's going to slow down, then maybe you're bringing 10, 20 people, and then you're ranked on that list based on your number. So if you're number 19, then you're definitely going to get an invite. If you're saying there's a lot of work, then maybe we go down to 30 or 40. Excuse me, sorry. So that's how it works basically. And then they stay on that list for 2 years. So they may not get that first call from me, but maybe that call comes 2 months later. Oh, we got a lot more jobs opening now. So then we start going down that list.
How often do they negotiate the actual journeyman price?
So it's based on our current contract. So with the, so we just got that raise this year for the sound, a 4-year program. But that was a 1-year contract. Because that's not normal, it was just a weird negotiation. But normally it's about 3 years.
Sorry, 3 years renegotiating.
Right, but that's like, every year is like, okay, you guys are gonna pay us $2-3 more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's going to be an increase annually.
Right, yes.
Can I ask, I saw that, the web of opportunity, so if they go into the apprenticeship, they feel like she was saying, well, maybe electrical isn't it.
Mhm.
Maybe they wanna do construction
Right.
in some other area.
Yes.
does this offer other?
So we're strictly electrical, so if they want to, there are other, like I said, trade unions. We're part of, if you want to look them up, SD Building Trades. They have all the different trade unions listed on their website. So if they want to see carpenters or they want to see sheet metal guys or whatever, they can go talk to them. You know, they have pretty much the same opportunities that they have here.
Are general contractors kind of, do they just dabble in all different?
Yeah, so if you want to be an electrical contractor, you can either get your C7 license, that's low voltage, or C10 license, which is higher voltage. If you want to become a general contractor, then you have to get your A licenses. But yeah, anybody can work their way up to that level.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's but your school, your training is specific to electrical. But if we want, if you, if my son wants to look into other areas, he was doing, he already passed the OSHA, he's been doing the construction tech. But look into other areas, he would look under, what did you say?
SD Building Trades.
SD.
San Diego Building Trades.